everyone, and welcome to my channel, Time to Cook. I am Chef Christy. Okay guys, I have another easy no knead bread recipe for you today. It is for a sandwich bread, and this recipe makes 2 loaves, and it is super easy. I love these kind of recipes that you don't have to knead it. You just mix your ingredients together in a bowl, stir it, let it rise and do its thing, and then bake it off. And this one is a good one. So you will only need 6 ingredients to make this bread. Of course, you will need your flour. I am using a bread flour today, but you can use all-purpose. You will need your yeast. I have a rapid rise active yeast, sugar, salt, melted butter, and then my milk. And this is warm. However, you can also use warm water. All right, guys, let's make this bread. But before I do, just a quick reminder to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so you'll know as soon as I upload new delicious recipes. Okay, so to a large mixing bowl, I'm going to add 5 cups of flour. And just make sure that that flour is not packed in your cup, but it is leveled off. Going to add my sugar. And I'm going to add 1.5 tablespoons of yeast. Going to add my salt. And then I'm just going to lightly stir this. All right, then I'm going to make a little well in the center. And I'm going to add my melted butter. Okay, so then for my milk, I have warmed my milk in the microwave. You don't want it to be too hot. I will just do a test and just put my finger down in it and feel that it's nice and warm, but it is not hot. And so then I'm just going to add my milk. And then I'm just going to begin to stir this till all that flour is mixed in. All right, so as you can see, your dough is a little bit sticky and wet, and that's okay. Okay, so once your dough comes together, what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to cover this and let this sit for 5 minutes, just so the glutens will start to develop, and I'm going to give it one more stir. Okay, so it has been 5 minutes. And so I'm just going to give this another stir. And I want to show you how it has already started to change its texture a bit. It's a little bit more stretchy. But I'm just going to stir this just a little bit more. See that nice stretch? It's just getting those glutens to develop, and that's going to give us our nice chew to our bread. All right, that's looking good. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray my lid. And this just keeps the dough for when it rises, it doesn't stick on the lid. And I'm going to cover this, and I'm going to let this rise for an hour. Okay, so it has been an hour. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of flour down onto my counter. And then I'm going to take my dough and I'm just going to dump it onto this flour. A little spatula to help it out. It's wanting to stick to my bowl. Okay, I'm actually going to sprinkle just a little bit of flour on top. All right, just like that. And I'm not going to knead this, but I'm going to cut it in 2 pieces. And then I'm just going to form it into 2 loaves. Just by folding it. There we go, just like that. Now I do have 2 loaf pans that I greased and floured. So once I form my loaf, I'm going to drop that into my loaf pan. And I'm going to kind of press it in there so that it's nice and even. But let me do the other one up close so that you can see. I kind of fold this over. Try to get a nice loaf. And then I just drop it in there and kind of press it down so that it's nice and even in the pan. Okay, so once you get your dough in the loaf pans, then you will want to cover them and let them rise for another 15 minutes. Okay, it has been 15 minutes. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I have an egg wash. And this is just 1 egg with 2 tablespoons of water that you've beaten together. And I'm just going to take a basting brush and just very lightly brush the surface of the bread. This is optional, but I like to do it because it gives a nice shine to the top of your loaf. Just make sure that you're very gentle. You don't push down really hard when you're brushing the egg wash on. Okay, so now I'm going to bake them in a 375-degree oven for around 30 to 40 minutes. I'm going to keep my eye on them. I just want them to have a nice golden brown top. Look at this bread. It is beautiful. Nice shiny golden top. But I've got to do one more thing, and that is I'm going to have to put some butter on top. So I'm just going to take this stick of butter and spread it all over the top of this bread. Oh my goodness, guys, this bread is phenomenal. I don't know if there's anything better than warm, fresh, homemade bread. And I like to have a little bit of jam on my bread. So I'm just going to add some homemade strawberry preserves. And I do enjoy the heel. That bread is so good. You have got to give this recipe a try. And it's super easy. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful day. And as always, I will see you soon with more recipes.